Long-awaited resumption of operations at the Port Harcourt Refinery is finally here. Following the commencement of the petroleum products processing and loading at the refinery, President Bola Tinubu congratulated the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, on this significant milestone. President Tinubu emphasized its potential to reduce dependence on fuel imports and strengthen the economy, while reiterating his administration's determination to repair the country's refineries. The president urged the NNPCL to fast-track repair of other key refineries, including Kaduna and Warri. Meanwhile, a former governorship candidate in Rivers State, Tony Cole, said petrol cannot sell for 700 naira per litre in the country. According to him, the country still has huge foreign exchange components to deal with respect to importation of products and machinery used at the refinery. Emeka, let me start with you this time. The president Yeah, I will. I'll still go to here. But let me start with you. The president congratulating NNPCL. Congratulations are in order, is it not?
Well, of course. I am an advocate of manufacturing. And because I've done some form of production, industrial production, and I know how difficult it is and capital intensive. So anything that will ramp up the country's production capacity in every area, be it in oil and gas, be it in automotives, be it in ICT, wherever it is, be it in textiles or anything, I am very happy. But you see, the thing is that oil and gas is a capital-intensive.
Sure.
The Port Harcourt Refinery is a brownfield. It's an old refinery. So whatever money is spent on it, it's not an easy thing because that you are upgrading. It's not like the Dangote Refinery that was built from the ground up. It's brand new, greenfield. But brownfield, you really have to spend a lot of money.
Exactly.
Upgrading the parts because the technology keeps changing. You can't compare the technology here with that of Dangote or Watersmith, so the thing is that, that's why the capacity is not that high. And then, of course, Tony Cole talking about the price.
We'll still get to Tony.
Yes.
We'll still get to Tony.
So I think yes, congratulations, I know that, but I will still insist, there are 20 refinery licenses. Those licenses that are not in operation, we need to be told what is going on. I'm not talking about the four, I'm talking about the others. The other 16, what is going on? Dangote, apart from Dangote and Watersmith, the other 14, what is going on?
What's going on? That's a question. Now, BKO, Nigeria got that screaming headlines. Is this the light at the end of the long tunnel for the people of Nigeria with the Port Harcourt Refinery?
No, not quite in the light. And good news is good news.
True.
But we also need to temper our optimism because when some people felt, with the coming on stream of Dangote Refinery, petrol will sell at 150 and all that, we told them that the coming of a refinery will not necessarily translate to cheap petroleum products. I think it has dawned on Nigerians now, that is an illusory remark to say that, coming of Dangote Refinery will bring down prices. That's not really going to happen. And if prices will be brought down, it will be marginal. That was the point that Tony Cole was making. We know that competition can help bring down prices, but not on the scale that Nigerians are expecting. Whatever it is, lower prices, I can say Nigerians welcome lower prices. And that was why, to an extent, I supported those marketers who were saying that they were going to import. Because what is the point? The Nigerian crude is the most expensive in the world.
That's true.
But there's nothing wrong in crude from Russia, from UAE and other places. People get by. It's not, Nigeria cannot even supply a lot of people want is crude oil.
It's crude.
So we should not be obsessed with our crude oil. What I know is that for prices to come down, Mr. Cardoso and the other people who manage our foreign exchange market, we can use market, inverted commas, they need to do a much better job. The value of our currency must be stronger. If our currency was stronger, the landing cost for imported petrol, for example, it won't be this high. If our currency was stronger, even NNPC producing refined crude oil in Nigeria, the price will not be that high because these things are denominated in foreign currency. And the stronger your currency against the dollar, the better for you.
True.
So we've lived in this country before that the bulk of the petrol we were using, we were consuming, was imported. But we didn't feel it that much because our currency was much stronger. Now we have to work on our currency. What are the steps that we need to take to make our currency strong? Secondly, it's not enough that this refinery has come on stream again. How do we keep it rolling? That is the most important thing. It's not like, I've read some stories where they said, oh, Nigerian refineries have not worked for 20 years. That is a lie from the pit of hell. They've worked
off and on.
Off and on. Suddenly, you just see that this thing started working some weeks ago. Shortly after, you hear that there's problem again. We need to be able to keep it on stream. And if government will get a company, a management company, to help
manage it on
behalf of government, it will be something, because with the individuals that we have in those refineries who are collecting extortionate wages and doing nothing, who on their part even play their role in making sure that these things don't work, we have to find a way to shunt them aside and find a system that works. I'm not saying fire them, but the people who helped refurbish this refinery, for example, and have kept it in this shape, there has to be a way that we can get them to continue.
To continue.
Yes, to continue helping to manage it and keep it on stream. And then they will be paid for their efforts. I don't just want to hear that, 3 months down the line, the refinery has broken down again. Because that is the story of the Nigerian refineries. Warri is one of our most modern refineries. We have been told that, Warri will be the next. We want to see all these refineries working. I don't know the magic that they're going to do about Kaduna. Because distance, getting crude supply to Kaduna and all that. But we need to do our best, get all of these refineries working. And shut up those who have said that nothing can work in our country. Those who have said that those refineries will never work. The doomsday prophets. We need to find a way to shut them up. And if some crooked civil servants are there in those places, determined, as we are working to keep them working, determined to sabotage everybody from within. Is this sabotage?
Say sabotage, exactly.
Sabotage, because my work is not to pronounce. If there are those of them who will sit there as we are plotting to put things right, their own job is to make sure that things fail. We have to find a way to render such people irrelevant so that those who mean well can help us.
Tony Cole saying that, getting price to 700 naira, I don't think it's possible. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with him?
Yeah, of course. I agree with him because he said much of, the parts, used in the industry are imported. We don't own the technology. And which I've said over the years, we must, look at the MBS report, about the manufacturing sector. Q3. It's bad. It went down. Manufacturing sector dipped. And then we are saying the GDP improved because of services. No, a nation of 200 million people. You know, I mean, one of the largest economies in the world. Not, I didn't say biggest. One of the by size and all of that. You know, manufacturing must be one of our strengths. Must be one of our strongest areas. We can emulate China, even if we cannot get the most advanced technology. But the basic technologies, you know, recycling and all of that, we should be able to get to some point where certain things can be produced locally. We must get power supply right. Like Vicky talked about, you know, people within the system, look at the issues with the vandalized transmission lines. They were fixed. The Ahoda to Nagoya line was fixed. The same day it was vandalized. The other one to Benin was fixed and vandalized. So these things are not being done by people who just drop from the, you know, from nowhere. I believe there are people within the system
now,
who are bent on sabotaging.
Toyinko said maybe it won't get to 700. But I know we can't determine the price, you know, just by 60.
Yeah, so there are a lot of factors.
How many percent, you know, 970 from, you know, like how many percent, like how much, if you're to predict?
No, you see, predicting has to do with, you know, depends on a number of factors. Like all of those things about, you know, import duty and all of that have been shaved off.
Yes.
But don't forget that the parts, you are denominating your repair in dollars. And so expecting a lower price would have depended on if government were ready to reinstate subsidy to some extent. But the government has said no.
Exactly.
It is talking about the regulation. So what I think is, you know, perhaps government should just think of totally privatizing NNPC, maybe taking it to the stock exchange.
You have still
so that
the price.
So that's when I talk about the thing is that the price will not come from the salaries of NNPC workers now. What I'm saying is that if it is fully privatized, fully commercialized, and investors bring in a lot of money, because NNPC is having a lot of challenges.
True.
Its pipeline network, all of those things are very expensive to maintain. So if you can get solid investors to pump in a lot of money, when they can bring this price down. But again, with constant production, you know, if we're able to sort out certain things, especially if a currency can do better. Now we're doing a lot of exports. If again, another thing that might determine the price, maybe 800, but they've talked about 900 by the U-time. But another thing that can determine if we can, in the upstream, if we can increase our oil production, the ambitious target of 3 million barrels per day, if somehow we can get there, and then we can deal with some of these, you know, forward sales agreements, you know, get them sorted out, get them out of the way. Then we can now talk off. You know, we can now confidently say, okay, well, somehow or the other prices. But like BKO said, I won't be surprised if they think of bringing in some cheaper crude, you know, to refine here.
BKO, you're good at prediction. What do you think? You're good at predictions. Price. If we are to look at it. Toyinko says 700 is not possible. What do you think?
If the mad people in Ukraine and Russia stop fighting, crude oil prices will crash.
Will crash?
Yes. Crude oil prices will crash. It can even go to like 40, you know, but the downside of that is that Nigeria will not earn enough money. What will have favored us is rising oil prices, but we are not producing enough. We can't even meet our quota. It's a shame that in the past, even a war-torn country like Libya overtook us, and we became number 3 in Africa, behind Angola and Libya. So I think that prices will go down if those people stop fighting. Maybe Trump can get them to stop fighting.
But as long as they keep fighting, we should not think of a lower price.
No, even if prices come down, they won't be significant enough.
They won't be significant.
But a cessation of fighting will bring down prices rapidly.